Well, good evening. On behalf of the person that invited you to this, or if you are a part of the top tier team and you are coming on here to just share what is happening with your life with this technology, we want to say welcome. Welcome to our family meeting on Tuesday nights that we just bring our testimonies and talk to each other about what is happening in our life with this incredible technology. If you are new and you're coming on here, just sit back, relax. I want you to really be filled with hope. The person that invited you to this call, be filled with hope because what we have our hands on is incredibly unique. It's incredibly special. It is something that is changing the lives of people all over the world. And every single day, this little guy right here is my miracle inbox. I just got a testimony about literally about 7 minutes ago, and I was able to see this video of a child, and I thought, my goodness, how exciting. So hopefully the mother is going to be sharing a little bit later on about that. But what we'd like to do tonight is do something a little bit different. Normally we open up about the science behind the technology. I'll definitely be covering that. But I would love to share about this technology in a different way. We have a mama that's actually going to jump on, share her heart about what video she sent me on Sunday night. And with that, I'm going to move to the next slide and hopefully
Dear Lord.
you can hear this. Please let me know if you can't.
Lord. Okay, say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Say for family.
Family.
Family. Say food.
Food.
Food. And say Jesus.
Jesus.
Yes, Jesus. Say amen.
With this.
Right? This. Okay, can you say amen?
Amen. I wonder what God feels.
You know, this is our why. And I hope everybody was able to hear that. Gail, I'm going to spotlight you for everyone. And I would love for you, before we jump into the science, this is our why on Tuesday nights, right? I would love
Yeah,
you to share what we just saw.
yeah, yeah. So, a quick history for those who don't know. My daughter is 5. She has a rare genetic disorder. It doesn't even have a name. And we found out about 4.5 years ago, and it results in epilepsy, significant developmental delay, and speech is one of the biggest delays that these kiddos will see. And so when we started her on the patches back in September, within 6 days, her speech therapist came out and said to me, "Man, I don't know what is going on, but just since last week, her speech has significantly changed, and she's doing things I've never seen her do in the last 3.5 years." And of course, I hadn't told anyone what we were doing, and I had noticed some things at home and was really kind of like that scary hope where you're thinking, am I being too wishful that I'm already seeing changes? And when her speech therapist said that, I had goosebumps and I got completely emotional because I thought, okay, she's totally objective in this and she's seeing the changes. And one of the biggest things that speech was working on was Willow's capability to repeat things back. We did not have the ability for me to ask her to say something and for then her to practice that sound and say it back. And that was what her speech therapist was noticing so early on, 6 days into patching. We started X39 and then quickly added in the Eon. And those are the two that she still uses today. We sometimes use a carnosine when we kind of notice things are a little off and maybe going to be more likely to have seizures. But those are the main ones that we use with her. And so here we are now. We do, everyone has a night where we pray. And so one of the boys a couple weeks ago said, "Well, why doesn't Willow take a night?" And I thought, that's a great idea. And so So we started doing that. And so for her to be able to repeat back everything that you heard is, man, it is something that we weren't sure we were going to ever see or get to experience with her. And so it's an absolute joy to hear her declaration. It's not even a prayer. I feel like she's just like emphatically stating things, you know. It's the only time she talks like that is when she's praying. I don't know where it comes from, but I love it. And you'll hear my son at the end. He says, "I wonder what the Lord feels when he hears her pray." And my husband and I both kind of looked at each other and we said, joy. I think he just feels joy. So anyways, so yeah, so we just wanted to share that with others because as a mother of someone who has special needs, we're a pretty hard population to reach. We know a lot. We've had a lot of things that we've tried. And I just want you to know that you can share this story and love on someone else because you are offering what I call scary hope to someone. And that can be really hard and intimidating. But I can guarantee that there is someone out there who needs to hear this story or hear a story because they are literally sitting there wishing there was something they could do for their loved one or their child and just don't know that this exists. So hopefully this gives you some hope and some confidence when you share and talk to others.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I couldn't, guys. Okay, I'm about to share one more, and Gail, you're gonna love this. Tonight is the night of children, okay, because we've got another video. I just got this a few minutes ago, but the word scary hope. I have a daughter that's special needs. We actually have a counselor that actually is working with her right now. And we never knew what it was that she had, and when you don't know, and you just have like this hope of one day there might be something normal, and so my prayer is that today, tonight, as you hear about this next testimony as well, that you walk away with scary hope, that you truly walk away with scary hope. Next, I'm going to share my screen, and I know that we have a special guest that is going to be able to jump on quickly, and then I'll go over the science, but let's go and let's watch this one. Now, to you, that might look normal, right? That to you, that might very well look normal. But I would like the mother of this young man to jump on real quickly. Unmute yourself, Miss Stephanie. I know that you're in the middle of coaching, but if you could just share what we just saw, because this is big.
Yeah, I just want to apologize ahead of time because I am literally on a football field.
You're
But
okay.
I've always been taught that the minute that God opens the door to share his glory and give him the honor and the praise that he's due, that you've got to do it. So I am literally off the field right now. You could probably hear boys screaming, but the reason why that video is so significant is because that's my 13-year-old son. About a year ago, he was diagnosed with autism. And gosh, he has hair like this big. It's a huge fro. Most of the time, that's how people know him because we don't do haircuts. It's torture for me. It's torture for him. We would do a haircut like once a year when it got so bad that people were like, why don't you take care of your kid? And like, they don't understand. Listen, I actually am because he hates getting his haircut. Um, I started the patch literally 60 days ago. And I've had my own miracles, but once I started seeing the results in me, I started trying to patch him, but with his sensitivities, sensory sensitivities, he wouldn't keep it on. It was making me so mad because I'm also a single mom, so $100 is a stretch for me. And I'm like, you got to keep these things on. So I started sneaking in at night after he went to sleep, and I would put it on his back. And then he'd wake up in the morning, and he knew it was there, and he was like, what are you doing? And he just started noticing like little things. Like he wanted to play outside. He wanted to hang out with his brothers, which normally he wants to be left alone. He doesn't want to talk to him. He just wants to be in his room. He's playing, he's hanging out with friends. He's being social now. So here we are 30 days after patching him. And I would say it took about 5 days for him to start asking for his patch, where before he was pulling it off because he didn't like how it felt. Now he won't let me go to bed without getting his patch. But that was the hair salon yesterday, and he got a low taper fade, which we never would have done. We would have done like scissors, so he didn't hear or feel the buzzer, and we would have just cut down the fro. And he had the buzzer. You saw him. He was sitting still. He wasn't squirming. We've had to shave that kid's head so many times because we attempt a cool cut. And he's like, he can't sit still. He's laughing. He's giggling. And then the barber messes up and then we have to shave him. Like one time, the last time I took him, which was about 3 months ago, I took him to a school and the kid who was learning on him had to go get the coach because Samuel squirmed, he messed it up. Coach had to come fix his hair so that it didn't look crazy. So that's why that's so significant. He's quiet, he's sitting still, he's not doing anything. He's not even moving really. He's just being. And to see him also be and not be agitated. Sometimes what he does, if you don't know anything about kids with autism, they make faces to soothe, and he wasn't even making faces. And I've been asked, what's the face that he's making? And he'll make it when he's uncomfortable at school, but he wasn't uncomfortable in that seat. So nothing has changed. He hasn't even started ABA therapy because his therapist felt like he's not ready to get to ABA therapy, which if you don't know about that, that's basically where the therapist is going to take those behaviors like, the face making and the squirming, and we replace it with a behavior that's more functional. He hasn't been able to do that because he hasn't been ready to do it yet. And the patch like surpassed the ABA therapy and we've replaced the behavior. So I'm a full believer. And I want to say that I shared this testimony last night. And through this testimony, I had 3 moms who reached out to me and they want to start the patch for their kids. So don't be afraid to share your testimony and be about it, because I'm the most introverted person. I don't like to talk, but I am unashamed of helping my kids. And if that is the only way you can come up with, I think that's the best one. And that's the most powerful, to see a mom or a dad or a parent step out of their uncomfort or their comfort zones to be uncomfortable for their kids.
Gosh, Stephanie, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because it's the scary hope that we live for on Tuesday nights. This is the scary hope, Stephanie. And
Yeah.
you're standing in the gap for your child. And because you're doing that, miracles are going to happen because of it. So, Stephanie, thank you for taking your time to share with us. And there's going to be some scary hope that's transferred because of your yes. So, thank you so much for stepping away.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
All right. So, guys, what you're hearing are incredible testimonies that are very, very, very normal. Okay. They're very, very normal. And so, what you are going to hear tonight is you're going to hear the science behind the technology of what is happening with these mothers, with these children. And you're going to be able to also hear other testimonies. But I wanted to open up with those 2 testimonies because that's our why for Tuesdays. So, this is not a normal disclaimer. Every single person that wears this technology receives a testimony. Your testimony is going to be different than the person next to you. Why? Your body was created differently. And in the stem cell world, your stem cells are the master building block of your entire body. Okay, so what you need to understand is that your stem cells know your body and they're undifferentiated. Just like those children's stem cells know their body, they know what to do and what to triage. Okay, so stem cells are incredible. It is their job to naturally repair, naturally renew, and go throughout the body and begin to triage whatever is going on with every single individual. And that's what this technology does. This technology wakes up stem cells. Okay, this technology activates the body to wake up the stem cells. And your stem cells take care of inflammation. Okay, so special needs children, there could be inflammation going on in their brain, right? There could be inflammation going on in There's my grandmother, she had dementia. There was inflammation going on in her brain. Okay, so the stem cells, they take care of inflammation. Okay, when they triage, they are regenerative. Okay, they repair damaged cells. So if you go and burn your hand on your stove, your stem cells have the ability to turn into whatever is necessary for that to regenerate. Okay, they're antimicrobial. Okay, so they fight parasites, they fight fungi. Guess what? Last week, ladies and gentlemen, I had COVID. I didn't even know it. I was sharing testimony Tuesday with COVID. But you know what was incredible was I had actually been very susceptible to COVID. I've already had it 4 times. I'm the magnet. And last week, within 2.5 days, we could not believe the difference of what my body was able to fight compared to what ended up happening prior. It's very, very different when your stem cells know what to do and they're awake and alert. And of course, they energize you, and you're going to see actually the science behind that. Now, stem cells are undifferentiated, like I said. So if they need to turn into nerve cells, if they need to turn into cardiac cells, if they need to turn into muscle cells, they have the ability to do that. And then those cells can begin to fix whatever needs to be fixed, whether those nerve cells need to be fixed in the arm or the leg or the whatever it is. Okay. The muscle cells, whatever it is, your stem cells are vital. And if they're awake and alert, that is what they can do. Why is this technology so incredible? By the time we're 30, half of those stem cells are dormant. By the time you're 60, 90% of them are dormant. Okay, they go to sleep. They don't die. Okay, so the fewer stem cells that you have, the faster you age, the slower that you heal. Now we're going to focus on also what happened with these children, because you're like, well, wait a minute, these children were 30, they didn't have dormant stem cells. I'm going to talk to you about this in a minute. But understand that us as adults, your stem cells are going dormant. So you're going to hear testimonies from adults as well. And you're going to realize that when you wake up those stem cells, they can fix themselves. Okay, your body can fix themselves. Now, let's bring some validity to the company quickly before we dig any deeper into the science. David Schmidt is the founder and the CEO of LifeWave and of the X39. Okay. Now, he, well over 20 years ago, was contracted by the government. He was already doing defense weaponry, working on that with our government. But the Navy SEALs came to him and said, David, we have a problem. It's a health problem. Our Navy SEALs are hooked on amphetamines, and we need something that is going to keep them awake for 24 to 36 hours straight, ready for combat. So David Schmidt, an incredible inventor, his family actually invented the little pieces inside every single one of our cell phones. That's how brilliant he comes from, a long line of inventors. He said, no problem. I'm an inventor, and I will come up with something. They said, well, wait a minute. It cannot be a drug. It cannot be a supplement. It cannot be anything that they put inside their body. He said, not a problem. I'm an inventor and that's what I do. So he began to study the body, okay, because he said, okay, if it's not something we can go and put in the body, let's see chemical reactions that the body has. And he found that there was actually chemical reactions that had been studied for hundreds of years from light therapy on the body. Okay, so he really started studying this and he went, interesting. Then deeper, he found that our body actually emits light called biophotons inside it. Okay, so he was looking at light therapy and he was like, okay, well, it's obviously not something that they can walk around with a red light bed, right? And that wasn't even something at the time, but he was like, we got to dig deeper. So he found these biophotons that the body actually emits. Okay, and deeper, he found that there are chemical reactions that happen internally when the DNA is hit by its own light. Okay, so as he was digging, he found that that light actually is emitted from our body between 1 to 2 centimeters. Okay, so we are beings of light. That's nothing weird. That's nothing woo-woo. It's very science. Okay, if you talk to a firefighter, which we have tons of firefighters in our organization, if you talk to a firefighter, if they're looking for somebody in a cloud of smoke, they can use an infrared gun to find the person through their light and their frequencies and their heat. Okay, so that's nothing woo-woo. So we emit a frequency of light between 1 to 2 centimeters, and he found that there's actually all kinds of different colors of lights that we emit. And deeper, he found that there was a red light, because remember, he's focused at the time on Navy SEALs. He found that there's actually a red light that when the body accepts that red light, the body elevates adrenaline. So, ladies and gentlemen, over 20 years ago, I present to you the first ever energy enhancer technology using the science of photobiomodulation, a reflection of frequency of light back in the body and elevating energy. Okay, so David Schmidt knew that he was onto something very unique. The Navy SEALs began to use this technology. Then Olympians got wind of it. They began to use it. Stanford University put it on their swimmers. Michael Phelps began to use it. David Beckham, my husband's favorite. And the list goes on. And so it was something very interesting because David Schmidt said, okay, we found a red light, but remember, there's all kinds of different frequencies. So he began to use an FTIR, okay, and he began to use this equipment, and he found that there were different frequencies and different wavelengths that when reflected back in the body would have different chemical reactions. Okay, so the chemical reactions, he found one that the body elevated naturally melatonin. The body naturally elevated glutathione, which fights viruses. He found different colors of frequencies. Well, he spent 10 years and $4.5 million. That's why you're seeing already, you saw miracles with these children. 10 years, $4.5 million to find a specific frequency of light that when reflected back in the body would actually wake up stem cells. Here you are. This is why you're on tonight. This is why you're going to hear more testimonies. Testimony Tuesday is due to the X39. This technology reflects a frequency of light back into the body, and the body elevates naturally a GHKCU peptide. Now, that GHKCU peptide is known as the holy grail of healing. Okay, so this technology, this X39, reflects a frequency of light. I actually have it on my shoulder right here, a frequency of light back into the body. The body naturally elevates a GHKCU peptide. And also in response, which is why you see so many miracles with autistic children, is actually the body naturally elevates a glutathione by 30%. So that's why you see so many special needs children see an incredible result with this technology, because this causes the body to elevate GHKCU peptides, but also glutathione. And glutathione, if you ask a mother, hello, special needs children, glutathione is an incredible it's an incredible peptide that's needed. Okay, the glutathione is needed in the body. Okay, but the GHKCU peptide, that holy grail of healing, you see hair and skin change, lungs change, brain and nerves change. So a lot of things happen. That's why you're going to hear the testimonies. And in the very bottom, you see activating those stem cells. So instead of spending thousands upon thousands of dollars of stem cell injections, ladies and gentlemen, your body is giving itself its own stem cell therapy. A newer research after 3 years, they found that at the mitochondrial level, the telomeres actually lengthen using this technology. The body actually reached down at the mitochondrial level, and the body actually reverses itself after you use this technology longer than 6 months by an average of 8.5 years. Okay, there's nothing that you can say that you go, well, no, I don't believe that. It's a patented technology. Okay, so you cannot patent placebo, and they've done tons of research, and David Schmidt continues to do research because it sounds too good to be true. This company is blowing up because they're seeing the miracles. Okay, so it's a proprietary form of phototherapy. Okay, so it's nanocrystal technology. What is in here is nothing weird. It is not a nicotine patch. It's not something that puts anything inside your body. It is literally made of amino salts, sugars, crystals, oxygenized water that is made into a perfect mirror image. And when you look actually under a microscope, you see the mirror image, and it is made to catch that specific frequency. Okay, so non-dermal, does not get in the way of any medications. If you're on a medication, you're watching this and you go, oh, is it gonna? No, just watch your body, because your body is going to begin to fix itself. And like myself, I was on a thyroid medicine. I began to use this technology, and about 46, 47 days into it, I went to the doctor, had my blood work drawn. 3 days later, he's calling me going, Brittany, stop doubling up your medication, which I did all the time. And I said, I'm not. And he said, well, what do you mean? And I said, I'm not. I'm just taking my medication. He said, Brittany, you're T3 and T4. That means everything's leveled. So he took me off my medicine. So that is what's going to happen slowly and surely. Okay. Within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. So hopefully you're going to hear some testimonies. And Gail, if nobody else jumps in, I'd love for you to jump in. But, within the first few days, 4,000 genes begin to reset. So what ends up happening is what you'll find is that some people have incredible results within a couple of days, 5 minutes to 5 days. Okay. Why? Your genes are beginning to reset. Okay. But remember, everybody's body is different. So your issues are different than your friend's issues. So your friend may need more stem cells to focus because they might be in kidney failure compared to you having brain fog. Okay, your body knows what it needs to do. And then within 6 weeks, the brain becomes balanced. So PTSD, anxiety, depression, dementia, all of these issues your body begins to focus on. And then within 3 months, your collagen is increased, which ladies, yes, hair, skin, nails, woohoo, yes. But the collagen is actually the matrix of your body. So your ability to begin to get up out of a chair, your ability to go to the gym, and to work out or just to get out of a bed begins to change. And then within 6 months, it's clinically, scientifically proven that the cardiovascular age of the heart reverses. So again, this is not an anti-aging. God bless anybody that does anti-aging. We all love anti-aging, but this is literal age reversal at its finest. So the benefits are absolutely unending. I'm going to open it up for testimonies from all of our people. But remember, guys, we would love to hear as many testimonies as possible. Just share, your name, where you're from. Okay. And understand that we want to hear the bullet points. Okay. How long have you been patching? What was happening before? Just a very short snippet, and what is happening now between 1 to 1.5 minutes so that we can share in a perfect manner. Because what we want to do is we want to spark hope for those that are watching this. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And actually, Gail, because you've been on here before, I would love for you to actually share your testimony quickly. And then, guys, get some courage. I'd love for people afterwards to unmute themselves.
Yeah. So for me, I started the patches in August of last year, started with X39 and Eon. And for me, I started because of knee pain and hip pain. I'd had a surgery gone wrong, and we won't get into those details, but I was in way worse pain after the surgery than I was before. And I started this because I was desperate. And when I started, within hours, I noticed pain relief for the first time in over a year and a half. And I said to my husband, I think this is placebo. And he said, Gail, this can't be placebo because you haven't been pain-free like this in over a year and a half. And I thought, well, maybe you're right. So I was a little skeptical because I was afraid to be that hopeful, right? That scary hope again. And so yeah, about 2 months later, I started X49 trying to help increase the muscle that had atrophied in my leg. And I went hiking, and I hiked for 3 hours pain-free and came back with a new hope of, okay, maybe I'm going to be able to kick the soccer ball again and, play with my kids. And so I've been on the patches almost a year. And just last month, I was able to do full range of motion on my left knee for the first time in over 2 years, completely pain-free. So my healing took time, and I changed up my patches. I've done a couple different things. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me later on Facebook or something, text me. But it was the consistency of wearing it. And I knew I was going to give this at least 2 years. That was my commitment. I knew I had a lot of things going on. And I will tell you what I actually noticed first was my gut. Your body was designed to have priority. And so when I started healing my gut, I have celiac disease, IBS, endometriosis, PCOS, lots of different diagnoses. And what I noticed was hormones were leveling out better. Thank you, perimenopause. And also my gut was calming in a way it hadn't done in over 20 years. So I actually started to heal there first. And that's why I think my knee took longer than what I wish it would have, because I had other places that were higher priority, and thank the Lord for that. But that's what I've seen. I have other things that I can share about other people, but I'll I'll give someone else some time.
I love that. I love it. I love it. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you, Gail, because that was perfection. Okay, I'm going to open it up, guys. I would love for you to just unmute and share, and we'll go from there. Janine, you can unmute.
Mute
There you go.
and
There you go.
there we go. Hi, I figured it out. Gail is my upline, and bless her soul, I think I've asked her 40 questions today, most of it having to do with technology. So this is an accomplishment. But I started the patches in January, and I use the phrase testimony envy because I want everything everybody else is getting, but I'm 68. And in July a year ago, I had sepsis, pancreatitis, severe abdominal discomfort, 2 different hospital procedures, and recovering from that has not really happened. So starting that far behind the 8 ball to start in January and then come forwards. And today, all of my tests, pancreas, liver, kidneys, everything is in perfectly normal range. And 2 years ago, I'm 68. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed 1 point away from osteoporosis in my right hip. So because I feel so good, in June, I went and helped a friend move. And after several hours of boxes of books, we went to her house. I was walking across the lawn, and the grass was high, and I didn't see there was a hole big enough for my entire foot to go into. So I went over the boxes, and that was that leg. And it was a non-event. My ankle was not sprained. My knee was not torn. My hip was not broken. My wrist that I landed on, it felt a little bit, but the next morning, I wasn't even sore. I have dreamed of being in this situation at age 68. This has been my goal, but I had to find the vehicle that would allow me to achieve this. So I am just so excited.
Janine. Oh my gosh. Testimony envy. Are you kidding me? I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. That is
You're welcome.
amazing. And it's amazing because when you do find that you've done something, and I want everyone to hear this, when you do find that you have done something to yourself, you've pulled a muscle, you've done whatever, when you have awake stem cells, your body heals faster. Right? And so that's what's incredible is that your body will heal faster. So that's amazing. I love it. I love it, Janine. Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I would love for a couple more to just unmute and to share. Not like it hasn't been amazing enough. Anybody else? I'm going to give it a minute.
Hey, Brittany, it's Teresa.
There she is. Hi, Teresa.
I'm actually cooking dinner, so I'm going into another room because the dogs are going to start going nuts. Anyway, I am 59 years old. I just had a birthday about 2 weeks ago. I have lots of things that have happened that have been awesome. But about 2 months ago, I was chasing chickens and I ended up falling. Luckily, I kept myself from giving myself a head injury, but I landed on both of my wrists. And I actually went to the emergency room because I know I probably fractured them. So I actually did fracture both wrists, and I patched. And in 4 days, I was able to use my wrists on both sides. Awesome. I'm just so excited about that. So thought I'd give you a quick thing on that. So
I love it. I love it. And Teresa is known for also patching her animals, her chickens. And so I will tell you that that has been something that has been absolutely amazing to watch because guys, this technology works on dogs, it works on cats, it works on horses, it works on chickens. And so, what I will say is that the answer is everything on everybody, every single solitary time. So, is there anyone else that might be able to share before we move on and close out? Oh, yes, Janine, did you have one more quick thing? Oh, good.
Yes, when you mentioned that, she's going to be shy. Come here. This is Sadie. Come here. She is a rescue and afraid of everything. And she goes under the bed. That's where she spends, when I first got her, most of her life under the bed, afraid of everything, especially men. And so I take my patch off after 12 hours and I put it on her collar and she wears it all night. And then we trade out in the morning. And just the other day, now this has been consistently for the last 2 months, sporadically before that I've been patching her, is she now has energy. I force her out and take a walk twice a day. We have to go the same way every time or else she's hyper vigilant and is just worn out. But now we can go other directions. We've doubled her walk. And she's never played before. There's no toy that entices her to get up and be happy. And she now plays and comes and asks me to play. And so she is recovering from her trauma.
I love it. I love it. Yes, and I take off my patch and put it on my dogs, y'all. And my husband's like, please don't. It's so, but I want my dogs to last forever. So, okay, anybody else that wants to unmute?
Brittany, I have a couple unique things that I want to share from our team and what we've seen. Some of the more taboo topics, I guess you could say.
Absolutely.
So I'm a pelvic health physical therapist, and so I have no issues with talking about the unspeakables. But one of the things that I do not think men realize is how much inflammation plays a role in prostate. And so this has been kind of an unspoken thing that I've noticed in men on our team is they're not even mentioning the prostate, but are noticing significant differences. And there's some prostate protocols out there that you can use. I have one guy on my team. He was having issues with prostate, difficulty with urinating, and literally started the prostate protocol and slept through the night for the first time in years without having to get up and urinate multiple times. That's a common thing you'll hear from a lot of people, that the urination at night will calm down. And that, y'all, is inflammation in the body. So the prostate is one that doesn't get talked about a lot, but I think it needs to be talked about more because it's a really common thing for men. And also, I had a skin tag fell off 5 days into patching with X39. Diabetics are healing. Foot wounds are healing quickly, and doctors are totally amazed by that. I have someone else that she started patching. Her daughter also has seizures, and she was patching with just Eon. So we're talking just the inflammation, stress in the body patch. And with just that, in 3 weeks, her daughter went from having 4 to 5 seizures a day to, in 3 weeks, she only had 2 total. So there's a lot happening on a cellular level that I don't think we realize or even can recognize in our own body or even in someone else that we love. But when you start addressing inflammation and stem cell activation, those two paired together, I'm really big on that those two should be paired together, because if we can get, and I'm going to get a little sciencey for just a split second to explain why. When you have chronic inflammation, and a lot of us do because of stress in the body, stress in our environment, our diets, our lack of sleep, there's so much that impedes our stem cells from getting to where they need to go, because chronic inflammation will not just block stem cells, they will kill them. So it's really important that we address inflammation in the body simultaneously with activating those stem cells. And that's where a lot of my people are seeing great benefit and significant change, because when you do those two together, the body just starts turning on all these switches of processes that are a good avalanche in the body.
Gosh, that was so good. Gosh, Gail, I mean, I could not even, I want everybody to know Rick and I had the opportunity to interview David Schmidt. And it was so interesting because I said, why? Because, guys, the X39 is your mama bear patch. Everybody needs the X39. But there is a technology that reflects the frequency of light back in the body. And he says if X39 is Batman, Eon is Robin. It's called the Eon patch, and it's no more money. Your person that invited you to this or sent you this Zoom can couple your package with the Eon packet. But let me tell you, it is incredible to see them work together. And Gail, I'm so glad that you gave the science piece behind that. Because it's very important. When your body has all the inflammation lowered, those stem cells can travel faster and they can go where they need to go. So Gail, I'm so grateful that you shared that, because that is so key in all of that. That mental clarity, the restored muscle and skeletal conditions, all those things can be taken care of with your stem cells when there's inflammation that has gone way down. So Gail, that has been beautiful. And that improvement of sleep. Yes, we were created to have REM sleep, but it's amazing to see what happens with the men when they're not having to wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom.
Hey,
So
Brittany,
so glad. Yes, yes,
can
Lee.
I interject there
Yes,
on that
please.
on that note of what you said about the men going to the bathroom? Gail, thanks for bringing that up. My name's Lee Dickerson, and I've been on the patch for actually about 15 months currently right now. And one of the first things that happened for me in the first 4 months is exactly what Gail was talking about. We as men, a lot of times we keep things to ourselves. We don't like to talk about things. We don't like to share things. But I was getting up 3 and 4 times a night to go to the restroom. And after about 4 months of being on the patch, that completely went away. If I get up one time a night, that's a lot. And right now I sleep through the night and have much, much better sleep. But also, speaking about the using the Eon patch itself, last week I was on, and I think I told everybody I had a procedure, abdominal procedure done, and coming out of the procedure, I felt like I was hit by a Mack truck, um, literally. And so when I got home, I put on X39 Aeon and the X49. And within 5 hours, all the inflammation, the swelling that was in my abdomen had completely went down. Now I'm a week out. The actual incisions, it was laparoscopic, but there was about an inch and a half, about 3 inch and a half incisions they made in my abdomen. Those now basically it's just looks like a scratch. It literally is like there's nothing that's happened. So this technology, this patch, it absolutely works. It's changed my life, and also the neighbors have stopped calling the police out because I also stopped snoring. I used to have I had sleep apnea. I no longer have sleep apnea. I no longer snore the roof off the house. So it's completely changed my life, and it's actually improved my wife's life because now she gets better sleep too.
And your wife Stacy just loves this patch because of that. Because I always tell everybody, you want to be my friend because it's proof that I'm God's favorite. Because Rick stopped snoring. That was our first miracle. Was when Rick stopped snoring. So guys, I mean, thank you, Lee, because that was so good. Guys, no matter what it is that we have going on in our bodies, all of us need the X39. Okay, it's so sophisticated, but it's so simple to explain. This technology merely reflects that frequency of light back into the body. And when the body accepts that light frequency, miracles happen. And when miracles happen, we are able to share the hope with everyone that we know and that we love. Rick and I looked at a timeline the other day and we just thought, my gosh, if we could transfer our timeline to every single person that we know and love that is going through something, if we could just share and give that dangerous hope. I will always forever remember that, Gail, that dangerous hope of maybe one day their life could turn into something so much more, then you know what? Let's do it. And that's what we're doing, especially on Testimony Tuesday. So you want to wear the patch where you need it. Okay, put it where you need it. Underneath the belly button on the back of the neck is where they place it for patent purposes to prove that it worked. Because remember, you can't patent placebo, so the patch is not on trial. Okay, and you're going to wear it 12 hours a day. Take it off. You can put it on your dog if you love your dog, or you can throw it away and put a new patch on the next day. It's activated for 16 to 20 hours. That's why you can take it off, put it on a plant, put it on your dog, put it on an animal, whatever it is. Okay. And then stay hydrated with electrolytes. Now, I love what just happened with the Eon patch, and because that Eon patch is incredible. So if you say, gosh, I want the X39, you better. But the Eon, use it, package it well. Your friend that invited you to this or sent you this, thinking about you, probably will be able to package it in such a beautiful way that you can get the X39 and the Eon, and you can wear the Eon for a few months with the X39, and it's just going to blow your mind. Now, if you doubt what we've talked about, just let me know, or let you know that there is going to be a documentary that's actually released at the end of October called Let There Be Light. This technology is so incredibly brilliant. There's more technology that's coming, all formed around the X39, because the X39 is that flagship that everybody needs. But there is more technology. And because they have been so mind blown, a man named Mickey Willis used this technology, was mind blown about the miracles that he had seen. He began to study it, and he said, we got to do a documentary, because every single person who needs a miracle needs to have hope. And so understand that this is what you have your hands on, and this documentary will be released. If you were like, well, what about stroke? What about neuropathy? What about, the answer is yes, on everybody, on everything, every single time, given enough time. You can visit thisisit.info.com/testimonies if you want to screenshot this, and you can actually tap on anything that you see here, whether it be children, back, spine, whatever it is, and you can see testimonies, guys, of what is happening with this technology. And there are doctor Zooms. There was one that was incredible last night. I mean, guys, what we have our hands on is unique, special. It's going to work for you. You need to give it enough time, okay? Like I said, 70% of people see a miracle between 5 minutes and 5 days, okay? 97% of people see something incredible within 90 days. So it's going to work. You want to wear it 1 month per decade that you're alive, and lean on to This Is It info if you want to see the patents, see the studies. It's all there, including what doctors say. People are hoping for this. These are some of my favorite text messages, from somebody that was in complete kidney failure and coming out of kidney failure, just absolutely mind-blowing, all the way to somebody that has a child that they just desperately need hope. Guys, this technology, wear it, share it with the people that you love. Don't hold back. Please don't hold back. Don't hold back. Okay, now the core, advanced, or premium are the three options that we always give. The core is $295 to see if it's right for you. It is. But you can actually couple it with the Eon patch. There's also another one called Ice Wave that actually blocks the pain within five seconds to 10 seconds once you actually find the spot. Okay, and then the advanced is if you say, I'm married, I want to share this, and I also want to share with the people that I love. Great. And then the premium, my husband and I have 4 kids. There were a lot of miracles that needed to be had. And so we began to share this and with every single person that we know and love. And so, guys, all I can say is don't block the blessing of the people that you love. And hopefully this transfers dangerous hope, because we need to stand in the gap for the people that we love. This technology was not, this Zoom was not introduced to you by accident. Don't block your blessing. And we are going to actually upload this recording at the top tier LifeWave YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you type in at top tier LifeWave, you will be able to find this recording, and you will be able to share it with the people that you know and that you love. It will be uploaded within the next 15 minutes. So with that, God bless every single one of you. We're so excited for your testimony. I can't wait for you to share what has happened because you said yes after tonight. And with that, God bless everyone and have an incredible evening.